Welcome fans and collectors of the wars. It's Whit here again with another critique comparison sort of thing that I'm going to do. It's not necessarily a review, but I am going to be talking about a figure that came out. It's a long overdue update to one of my all-time favorite figures of all time. That figure being the classic vintage Hoth Luke Skywalker. This little guy here was one of my all-time favorites growing up. I always loved the sculpt of that figure. And yeah, so this past year, Hasbro finally gave us an update for that with this guy here. At first I had real mixed feelings about it. The paint job and most of the sculpting is, you know, just off the hook. It's really, really great. You know, of course, we've got the ball hinged hips, so we can ride on the new Tauntauns that came out, which are also extremely great. I really, really enjoy those. Yeah, I was a little disappointed when this came out for just a couple of reasons that really kind of turned me off on it. First off is the shoulder pads on him. He's got these real weird, bulky, pointy shoulders. Yeah, the other being that the scarf goes completely over his face. I know it's removable, and even with it being removable, he's then got this wrap around his head, which just sort of adds to a turban sort of look. This is, from what I've heard from Hasbro, they tried to go for a very scene-specific Luke Skywalker with this. I'm just going to remove his face wrap and goggles really quick so you can get a look at the head if you're not familiar with this character. Yeah, he's just got, it's almost like he's wearing a turban versus wearing a hat, in my opinion. It just seems a little odd when you take that off. And so what I did, first off, I picked up two of them because I don't really trust my customization skills, and I didn't want to ruin this figure. Oh, wait, let me back up just a sec. So it's a very scene-specific figure, Hasbro was telling us, hence the reason that he has the wrap around his face. And yeah, if you watch Empire Strikes Back, he does appear that way. And problem is, it's only for a very split second. It's as he's riding the Tauntaun, but as soon as you get the first close-up of him, he removes the mask and lifts his goggles up, and that's what you see on the card back, which unfortunately I don't have handy. It's packed away somewhere. So what I did is, as I said, I picked up a second one, and yeah, here's a look at what I've done to him to sort of give him the more classic Luke Skywalker appearance that we're all used to. And, you know, here's a quick comparison of him compared to the classic Kenner Luke Skywalker. And so here's just a quick rundown of what I did to try and improve this character, in my opinion. First off, I took an X-Acto blade and I just sort of shaved off the shoulders a little bit. Here's a comparison of the two, just kind of taking off that pointy shoulder pad-ish kind of look. I didn't go too far up into the gray because I don't want to have to repaint him, and so I just sort of shaved the points off on the white parts there. Second, what I did was I stole a pair of goggles off of one of the Rebel Fleet officers, I think it's called. It's one of the Hoth troopers. I stole a pair of goggles off of him, and unfortunately it broke when I put it on there, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of sculpting work to get those to stay on a little bit better. This figure is far from finished. I cut off a little piece of fabric, off some fabric that I have, and just sort of tucked it under there. When I go through and sculpt the broken part of this, I will glue everything together. I also went so far as to shave off some of the scarf on the side of his head there, making the head look a little bit thinner and a little more accurate, in my opinion anyway. Sadly, the plastic underneath is white, so I will have to do a little bit of painting on there. The last thing I did was I glued this neck collar thing on. It constantly comes loose. There's a nice little peg on the back of it. Too many figures here, sorry. There is a nice little peg on the back that it sits in, but it doesn't stay very well. So I very carefully just took a little bit of super glue and I glued it down in the front and I glued it down along the back. and it tends to sit quite nicely now. Yeah, so that was, you know, a couple of real basic changes, and I'm much happier with the figure this way. Like I said, I have a little bit more work to do, and yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll be posting pictures on my Instagram, of course, once I get all of that done, and I may come back and do another review, just to show you guys the final result. Like I said, I do have 2 of them. I wasn't sure if I trusted my skills with this, so I picked up an extra one in case I screwed it up in some way. I'd still have one that was intact, and yeah, that way I can do that very scene-specific Luke Skywalker with the face mask and scarf wrapped around his face if I want to, but then I will have the more, the one that we're more used to seeing, you know, with his face revealed and the scarf hanging down this, off the side of his hat and all of that, his goggles up on top of his hat. So those are my thoughts on this Luke Skywalker figure. If you have customized yours in any way, I'd love to see it. You can do so with a video response, or you can leave me a comment of a link of where you might have posted pictures. I'm always curious to see how other people are customizing their figures and what they do to make them better or make it so you're more happy with the figures. Thanks for watching. As always, you can find me on dbsw.net, or if you're on Instagram, you can find me at R2Whitco on there, and of course Facebook at Distracted by Star Wars, facebook.com/Distracted by Star Wars. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and may the Force be with you.